This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, or I should say good evening, good night, almost good morning, as we are rocking late into the evening here in Fulton as we're getting set for the fourth and final game of the afternoon here. ICC, the visitors on the scoreboard after the coin toss. Co-Lin will be the home team. ICC number 2 in the country. Co-Lin number 9. The Indians come in with a record of 34-5. They are the defending regular season champions, and they wanted again this year to be able to host the tournament. And then Co-Lin ranked ranked 9th. They are 28-7 on the season as well. The coaches meeting at home plate right now. Welcome into the broadcast, Jeremy Kennedy. And Jeremy, it's been an exciting day of softball all day long. Expecting another great game tonight here between the Wolves and the Indians.
Yeah, it is. Second day is always pretty fun because you got the elimination games early and you kind of get some prizes. And we got one earlier when Hines knocked off Pearl River to send them home and end their season. Northwest got it going early with a big win over Northeast in a seesaw affair. But I think everybody was looking to these two games tonight in the winner's bracket game. We saw the Classic a minute ago. Jones getting a 2-0 win. Nihal Luckett with 16 strikeouts in a 7-inning shutout. And in this one right here, the homestanding Indians against a good Co-Lin squad should be really fun because it's a little bit of a contrasting style. Talk to some of the fans at Co-Lin, and they talked about you got to defend what the Indians do offensively. Like to run and bunt, and they got to defend all that. And ICC, of course, been so dominant all year on the mound.
Let's take you to the field for tonight's Coca-Cola starting lineups for both ICC and Co-Lin.
First, for the visitors on the scoreboard tonight, it'll be the number 2 Itawamba Indians coming in with a 34-5 record. Leading off for the Indians, the center fielder number 1, Mackenzie Patterson. Batting second, the left fielder number 20, Katie Rutledge. Third, the pitcher, number 7, Kara Hayes. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 27, Ivy Watts. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 24, Brianna Posey. Batting sixth, the DP, number 15, Madison Jenkins. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 6, Hannah Henry. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 30, Connor Stevens. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 15, Katie Boatner. And the pitcher for your Indians, number 14, Emily Robinson. Head coach for the Indians, Danny Kirk, being assisted by Rick Lawson and Kelly Bethurst. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, the number 9, Co-Lin Wolves, coming in with a record of 28-7. Leading off from center fielder, number 23, Shelby Maxwell. Batting second is the right fielder, number 1, Maddie Miller. Batting third is the third baseman, number 4, Carlin Brabham. Batting fourth is the left fielder, number 24, Madeline Wilkinson. Batting fifth is the DP, number 9, Sarah Blackford. Batting sixth is the catcher, number 22, Abigail Carter. Batting seventh, the second baseman, 00, Molly Johnson. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 11, Molly Davis. Batting ninth, the first baseman, number 3, Bailey Jackson. And the pitcher for the Wolves is number 12, Bella Lucky. Head coach for Co-Lin is Malia Howard, assisted by Amber Beal and Drake Flowers.
And there are your Coca-Cola starting lineups for both squads here. As we're just moments away from that First American National Bank opening pitch between ICC and Co-Lin. We do want to remind you this is the Davis Ford pregame show. Visit davisfordsales.com or stop by 904 West Main Street in Fulton to pick out your next dream car, truck, van, or SUV from Davis Ford. Had to take my car over there to get serviced and a little work on the other day, and got some great friendly help out there from the great guys and gals in the service center there at Davis Ford. All right, Jeremy, so let's just talk about the mindset right now for both these teams. This game was supposed to be played at 7:30. It is now beyond 10:30.
Yeah.
So 3 hours behind where you're typically playing. It was 67, 70s earlier today. Now you're in the mid-50s. Total different mindset coming into this game tonight.
It is. The one good thing is you're still talking about really young people, and obviously at this point of the year, they're either through with school, and the only thing they have left is softball, and they're up this late anyway for the most part. But I think you mentioned the weather. That, to me, is a bigger deal than the time factor. I don't think the time factor maybe is quite a big a deal, but the weather is different. A little colder. It feels a little bit more like spring break weather, where you're trying to kind of get in that in-between when it comes to cold versus warm. And typically right now in the first week of May, you're usually looking at where it's about 75 degrees at night. So I think the weather could be a big factor. Could potentially affect some of these pitchers and whether or not they can settle in early.
And despite being the tournament host, ICC, the visiting team on the scoreboard because of the coin toss. So it'll be Patterson, Rutledge, and Hayes scheduled up here to start the top of the first inning. And the circle is going to be Lucky for Co-Lin. We'll take a look at some Sonic stats on her after this First American National Bank opening pitch comes your way at 10:34. Don't think I'll ever say that again in my broadcasting career. A 10:34 p.m. First American National Bank opening pitch, and it goes for a ball. Jeremy, when you have a chance, let's take a look at those numbers coming into the tournament for Lucky. There's a swing and a miss by Patterson.
Yeah, Bella Lucky, a sophomore, making her 17th appearance, 17th start. She's 13-2 on the year, 15 complete games, 106 and a third innings pitched, 99 hits, 39 runs, 30 earned, 30 walks, 52 strikeouts. She's given up 8 home runs. She has an ERA of 1.97, and representing Simpson Academy, one of 3 on the roster where I'm from. Had a conversation with her mom before this game started. She wanted me to be nice and say some nice things about her. I said, well, I'll just read her stats. That's the nicest thing I can say about her because they're impressive. They're going to be successful not just tonight, but in the tournament where they want to go. She's going to have to pitch well.
And back-to-back pitches goes for balls now. It's 3-1 the count on Patterson. Patterson swung away once and then showed bunt. The infield coming in just a little bit, anticipating the bunt here off the bat of Patterson. That's one thing she does well. You come in, she swings away. You play back, she can lay down a bunt and beat you with her speed. That dual threat.
Yeah, always tough, and it puts a lot of pressure on pitchers, too. They've got to help out and fill their position on the infield.
So the 3-1 pitch on its way, and it's going to go low for a ball. And that'll be a leadoff walk here to start the contest. And Patterson, who's got good wheels, will be at first.
Look at the defensive lineup for Co-Lin. Madeline Wilkinson in left, Shelby Maxwell in center, Maddie Miller in right, Carlin Bromham at third base, Molly Davis at short, Molly Johnson at second, Bailey Jackson at first, Abigail Carter behind the plate, and we mentioned Bella Lucky in the circle for the Wolves.
This is going to be the left fielder, Rutledge, at the plate here for the Indians. No outs and a runner at first. Rutledge shows bunt, pops it up, and it's caught. The throw to first is not in time. And that was just a big-time break there for the Indians as the bunt carried off the hard pitch. And a good job having her wherewithal, I guess you can say, by Patterson to get back and get that one just a foot on the back just before the throw.
So we talked about in the pregame that you got to be able to defend the bunt game. The Indians do it as well as anyone in the country, and that time Co-Lin got a break. As you mentioned, the bunt was popped up. Good pitch by Lucky, though. You want to get that ball a little bit up to force the batter to maybe bunt it up. That's what they got on those turn 2.
This is the catcher Hayes at the plate now here for the Indians. 1 out and a runner at first. Hayes looks at that first pitch high for a ball.
Stats coming into the tournament for the Indians offensively. We talked about how good they've been. 346 team average, a 411 on base percentage, a 505 slugging percentage. Not a team that really hits it out of the yard a lot. Only 28 home runs, but 107 out of 112 stolen bases. That's how you win a bunch of games. If you don't hit it out of the yard, manufacture some runs, and the Indians do it.
Runner goes. Throw is not going to be in time, and that's going to be a stolen base for Patterson.
Yeah, Patterson coming into the tournament 24 of 25 in stolen bases on the year. Leads the team in that category. Katie Rutledge second with 20. And Katie Boatner third with 19. So you got two with over 20, one right at 20. Really tough to defend.
That last pitch went for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. That one just tails right back in. Hayes thought it was going to hit her for a second. The ball just turned over and got in the strike zone. 1-2 now is the count.
Well, that's what you got to do if you're lucky. You got to pound the strike zone. It's a good hitting team, but you can't really nibble against this ICC squad. 1-2, you got to go get her.
So the 1-2 pitch coming and leaves that one high and outside for a ball. Evens things up now at 2-2. Well, as we said, a 3-hour rain delay. Well, actually about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then had to get them warmed back up. The previous game had put us back behind 30 minutes either way. Still, should already be at home by now.
Thinking about tomorrow's games coming up.
So 2-2 is the count here to Hayes. Swing and a miss for Hayes, and that's a Renaissance Bank strikeout. A big one there is his second out of the inning with a runner at second. And a big-time pitch there from Lucky.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. When you get to two strikes in this situation, you got to go right at some of the hitters. Lucky went outside on 1-2. Not really a waste pitch, but I think she would tell you she didn't really make her best one. Well, she did there on 2-2. Went right at her and got the swing and a miss on the fastball middle in.
First baseman Ivy Watts at the plate now. Swings on this pitch, fouls it back off the netting for strike one.
And Watts is such a really good hitter, a big power hitter for the Indians, coming in, hitting .308, 6 homers, 40 RBIs, tie for the team lead with home runs with Mackenzie Patterson at 6. She make a mistake in that strike zone, she can really turn it around.
So 0-1 now is the count after that foul ball. Patterson's at second. Watts calls times and is given by the home plate umpire. So she'll reset here. 0-1 is the count. 2 outs, runner at second. Watts rips one up the middle, deflected off the glove of the pitcher. The throw over from the second baseman. It is in time. And that's how we'll end the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll take a break, come back with the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 is your score here in the nightcap. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
When I came back to school this year, I brought my bank with me, and the student checking account at First American National Bank was perfect for me. No monthly fees and no minimum balance, and I can manage my money right from the app. I can do all my banking with text messaging if I want, and I can deposit a check just by taking a photo. It's that easy at FAMB.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
My bank followed me to college.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
It's that easy at First American National Bank.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to the bottom of the first inning. ICC put a runner on second, but could not get anything going there in the top of the first inning. Yes, we are playing at ICC. The Indians lost the coin toss. They are the visitors on the scoreboard, or the guest, I should say, on the scoreboard, as that's what it says up there. And for Co-Lin, it's going to be Maxwell, Miller, and Brabham. I won't mess that up all day, folks, so I do go ahead and apologize now. Brabham at the plate. in the circle for the Indians is Emily Robinson. And Jeremy, let's take a look at some Sonic stats on Emily.
Emily making her 26th appearance of the year, her second start. She's 8-0 on the year, 9 saves, 64 and a third innings pitched, 54 hits, 15 runs, 12 earned, 8 walks, 67 strikeouts. She's given up 1 home run, 1.31 ERA. The number that jumps out at you, obviously the strikeout to walk ratio better than 8-1. Power pitcher, 67 strikeouts and 64 innings. I mean, she's obviously around the strike zone and has a lot of velocity on that fastball.
Those Sonic stats being brought to you by the Sonic here in Fulton. Text Sonic to 876642. That's 876642 to get special offers. Don't forget, message and data rates may apply. Also, don't forget to download the Sonic app for additional specials. Looking for a job? They're hiring. Starts at $9 an hour. So go by there and see the fine folks at Sonic. First pitch goes for a strike here to Maxwell. That pitch just missing low and outside. You've got
Ronnie Russell, the home plate umpire, Buddy Burt, the first base umpire, Alan Lunsford, the third base umpire, and those umpires brought to you by the Cagle Eye Center.
Call 862-EYES to get your eyes checked. I need to do that because I couldn't see what you were showing me, Jeremy. Is that pitch across for a strike?
Well, the Cagle Eye Center would be a good place to do
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
Shelby Maxwell, leadoff hitter for Co-Lin last night. Couple of strikeouts, 0 for 3. Did draw a leadoff walk, had a really good at-bat against Hannah Embry to lead things off for Co-Lin, but it's just struggled beyond that. So 0 for 3 with a walk in the tournament so far.
Waiting this 1-2 offering here from M. Rob, swing and a miss for a strike, and they're going to throw it down for the putout, and that's going to go for a Renaissance Bank strikeout. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Visit RenaissanceBank.com to learn more about their rewards, extra checking accounts. As one away now, and this is going to bring up Miller.
Maxwell, that left side, you're trying to slap it, and you can see the infield for ICC in as if they were trying to cut down the run from third. Some slappers at the top of this lineup.
And that one's going to get over the head of the third baseman who was in that time. Then it gets away in the outfield, and that's going to go for a double. They're going to try to get a triple out of it. They're going to get her on the throwback. No, the tag was not in time. Let's go back and look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. And I'll have to defer down to Kevin if it was just a double or... Yeah, she was going the whole way.
Yeah,
so.
Well, let's first start with Maddie Miller. Really good job on the inside, being able to take that inside pitch, go the opposite field. We talk about with these slappers, you bring everybody in. Everybody thinks you want to hit the ball on the ground, but if you do get a line drive, you got a great chance with everybody in to get a base hit. And she was thinking 2 out of the box. Her second hit of the tournament, first for extra bases, and puts Co-Lin with the runner in scoring position.
Yeah, good hit there. This is going to bring up Brabham now. Brabham, you got it.
You got it.
Like I said, I apologize in advance for all the times I'm going to mess that up tonight. 1 out and a runner on second here after that double. Is that pitch going to miss high and outside for a ball? Well, the Indians got a runner over at second. Couldn't do anything with them after a pop up to first, a strikeout, and then a ground out to second. The Indians trying to return serve here. There's going to be a slow roller to the third baseman. Throw over is in time. The runner will advance to third. 5-3 on the putout for those of you scoring at home. Speaking of those of you watching here, we do want to welcome members of the ICC family and say Roll Tribe. And then also want to welcome those that are watching in favor of the Wolves this evening. Thank you for joining us for a little Pac-12 softball for those watching on the West Coast. A little late tonight.
It is, but a really good play over there at third. Good strong throw, and a nice job by Maddie Miller to be heads up and get to third base. A little more pressure now on the Indians. Got to make sure they're clean defensively, not to allow that run to come home.
That pitch inside, they're going to say it hit her. No. And the home plate umpire just puts his hands up as if she would have maybe went as soon as she tried to sail the hit, would have gotten it, but did not get the call there. And so it'll go for a ball, as this is Wilkinson, the left fielder, batting in that 4th spot here, trying to get the first run on the board here this evening. This one fouled back. It evens the count now at 1-1.
Wilkinson 1 for 3 last night. Did get a single. Tweaked their lineup just a bit. particularly in the middle of that order. Abigail Carter was the cleanup hitter last night. They moved her down to 6. Just trying to give her a chance to see some more fastballs, and Emily Robinson going to give you those. She's got a high velocity, high strikeout pitcher.
So 1-1 is the count here to Wilkinson. Runner at third base. Wilkinson rips one, jammed up the shortstop. The throw over the stretch by Watts is there in time. Good stretch there, 6-3 on the putout, and that was a tougher play than it looked as we're scoreless after 1. We'll take a break and come back with the top of the second inning. We're to be Posey, Jenkins, and Henry due up for the Indians. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Gee willikers, this Coca-Cola Zero Sugar tastes mighty delicious.
Come on, buddy. It has 0 sugar.
But it tastes great.
Let's take the breakables away. If you keep lying like this, you'll be a puppet forever.
But it's the honest truth.
You'll never be a real boy.
It's no lie.
You're right. It's delicious.
Told you. I never lie.
You live life on your own terms. You won't be told what you can't do. And we're here to back you. From the boardroom to the big stage, Renaissance Bank supports women striving for success. Because greatness isn't held to anyone's expectations, except yours. So if anyone says you can't, prove them wrong. Rise with Renaissance, supporting women and the communities they influence every day.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head now to the top of the second inning. ICC and Co-Lin both had runners in scoring position. Couldn't get anything going there in the first inning. And now for ICC, it's going to be Posey, Jenkins, and Henry scheduled up here. The 5, 6, 7 batters. And Posey, Jeremy, if you remember in the first game of the day, we said 220 to center field, and she hit one about 228, 230 on a rope in her first at bat of the tournament.
Yeah, hammered it against Hines last night. And I think they didn't like the jam over the PA system this late.
He called time after the music kind of died a little late on him as that pitch goes low for a ball here to Posey.
You mentioned it. You're talking about these two teams having runners in scoring position. You get a high leverage matchup like this one for pitchers. You just try to find a way to settle in. And it's almost, it's a race to that point to settle in. Both were able to get out of jams in that first inning, and now we'll see if they get deeper into the lineup, throw some more pitches, which one of them gets more comfortable first.
Posey, the third baseman, has a 2-0 count. Looks at that one inside 3-0 now as Lucky falls behind Posey here. Got to be careful. The batter like Posey. A lot of times you have a 3-0 count, you're going to say she's going to have the red light here. And she did take that time, but sometimes she swings away on those.
Yeah, I think situation, I think Coach Kirk, this were maybe not, the first inning, you're trying to feel the opponent out. You're right, you may give her the green light, but probably going to have it here on 3-1 for sure.
So waiting this 3-1 offering to Posey. And she takes that one in there for a strike. Great job by Lucky to battle back and force the count to go full after falling in that 3-0 hole.
Boy, that's a good pitch, a fastball that moved in on the hands. I'm not sure you can do anything with that if you're Posey. She gave up on it. I don't blame her. Just a perfect pitch on the inside corner.
3-2 pitch coming. And they're going to call strike 3. Well, the umpire came up and...
Well, he called strike. He called strike 3. Carter dropped it. She didn't have control of it, but the home plate umpire said she didn't have to throw down to first base because Posey didn't offer at it. So you're right. You mentioned it. A good job by Lucky to come back being down 3-0. That's another really good pitch in on the hands. And something I've talked about in this tournament, we haven't seen a lot of pitchers be willing to go in on hitters. And that time Lucky did on both 3-1 and 3-2 and got the strikeout.
This is now Jenkins at the plate. She's the DP here. She got the Game 1 win yesterday. Or I say Game 1 win. It was the only game for the Indians yesterday, but she was able to pick up that win, going the distance, saved a few of those arms for the Indians in that 6-1 victory over Hines.
Yeah, we talk about pitch count. Don made a good point, in a couple of broadcasts
This one popped to the right side, should get out of play without an issue. It does. 1-1 now is the count.
A couple of broadcasts he and I've done together. Pitch count in softball is not nearly as big a deal as we talk about with baseball, but he made a good point. When you're in a tournament setting like this, though, it matters a little bit more. And so you mentioned it. Anytime you can get a pitcher to go the complete game in a tournament like this and save some arms, such a huge luxury.
1-1 now is the count here to Jenkins. Rips this one. Center fielder's going to jog over, though, and make a nice play. That was hit hard that time, but directly to the center fielder, and that's going to be out number 2.
Yeah, you can't do it much better than that. A fastball that I think Lucky would probably tell you caught way too much of the plate, and she was lucky it was hit right back up the box. And Shelby Maxwell, the center fielder, had it tracked the entire way. Outfield playing a little deeper for a couple of these right-handed hitters. You now see them in the same way ICC was playing when Maddie Miller was at the plate. In when a slapper.
Now this is Hannah Henry at the plate. Stands in, takes that first pitch high for a ball. Hannah playing second base tonight here for the Indians.
Something else to keep an eye on, too, is the outfield dew. Not just the weather, but it's 11 o'clock. And so that can keep an eye on for those center fielders out there.
So that ball high gets away again. And that was a couple of things I noticed in the previous game. When the ball would be like a ground ball to the outfield, they would throw it in and immediately throw it to the dugout. So that is going to be a factor, could prove to be a factor a little bit later this evening. 2-0 now is the count here to Hannah Henry. There's 2 outs, top of the second. Nobody on here for the Indians. Henry looks at that one in there for a strike. Got a lot of people watching here throughout the area. I see Charlie Piper sending in a Roll Tribe out supporting the Indians tonight. Also Kat Carver checking in, or I should say Kat Maloney checking in, as it's her birthday, as Kevin didn't like the fact I referred to her as Kat Carver. So that's Kevin's better half. So, but it is her birthday, the former ICC softball player. So I want to give her a birthday shout out today as she's cheering on the Indians here as well. Will Bunch checking in, Don Hammock checking in. I guess he made it back to the hotel. Just want to let everybody know after his Gulf Coast game.
I think you mean J.K. Rowlands.
Yes, 100%.
That is, well, everybody's got a doppelganger. That is, Don Hammock is J.K. Rowlands.
Yes, I was telling Jeremy earlier, there's sometimes he'll switch his photo to him on Facebook. People don't know the difference.
Oh, aren't you that guy that gave that cool Oscar speech?
2-2 is the count here to Henry. 2 outs and nobody on. Henry makes an offering at it, misses, and a big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there as the Indians go quietly in the top of the second. A pair of Renaissance Bank strikeouts now, third of the game for Lucky, as we'll take a break. Let's hear from Renaissance Bank and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renaissance replay. Make the right call with Renaissance and get cell phone protection with Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
$5 for my own money?
That's a bad call. Let's give him a Renaissance replay. Sign up for Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking with ATM refunds today.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And welcome back now as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Also want to give a shout out to Natalie Davis, the SID PR, just the queen of the MACCC, as she is watching back home. Well past her bedtime, my bedtime, and a lot of folks out there, as we had that rain delay as this First American National Bank opening pitch came our way at 10:34. As home plate umpire having a little bit of trouble with his mask there, as this is going to be Blanchard, Carter, and Johnson scheduled up, as Blanchard, the DP, batting in that 5th spot. Stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike. Then Carter, the catcher, and Johnson, the second baseman, all due up here in the bottom of the second.
Oh, Blanchard, the starting pitcher last night in the game against Pearl River. She went the distance, did such a good job. Also got a single and drew a walk. So a good night for her all the way around, as Co-Lin was able to get those 2 runs in the 4th inning, and she made them stand up. And so just like ICC, they were able to get, one pitcher to get them through, and so now they've got essentially their entire bullpen ready for a big one tonight.
1-1 is the count after that pitch goes for a ball. This one's going to be grounded and foul. 1-2 now goes the count here on Blanchard. Well, you talk about this being a big ball game. Of course, you're wanting to play for a championship in this tournament. ICC, your ticket's already punched to the Region 23 tournament. For Co-Lin, you've got to win 2. Now, we thought it was 1, but you have to win 2 to get to the region tournament. This could be them kind of taking a little bit of pressure off their back if they can find a way to win tonight.
Yeah, I brought that up. You and I had a conversation off the air, and I brought that up. We talked about it with other people. You just kind of wonder if that, for ICC, what their mindset will be. Knowing you're already going to get to the next week's tournament, some other teams have got to play you and beat you to get there.
And a swing and a miss there by Blanchard, as that is going to be the second Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game for Emily Robinson. Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you. Visit RenaissanceBank.com. Also visit RenaissanceNation.com. Got a lot of cool videos. SEC Shorts, they're a proud sponsor of, so you can check those videos out as well. This is Carter coming to the plate now. Carter catching in this late night game. Swings and misses at that one.
As an Notre Dame fan, I'm sure you love all the shots the SEC Shorts folks take, right?
Yeah, I do.
It's okay. Look, they are truly an equal opportunity shot taker.
They are.
All 14 SEC schools, Notre Dame, Clemson, they'll go at them.
They're entertaining. I like them. So 0-1 now is the count. That pitch hangs up high. 1-1 goes the count now here to Carter.
Well, they're really playing her to pull right now out there in center field. Mackenzie Patterson not anywhere close to Connor Stevens in right field. And so if Carter could somehow go to that right center field gap, she could run 4 days with how big that thing is.
That pitch just missing low for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here.
She struggled a little bit last night, couple of strikeouts, reached on an error, so Coach Malia Howard deciding to shake up the lineup just a bit. It's a Co-Lin lineup that came in hitting .350. Of course, they faced a good pitcher in Hannah Embry last night. They wanted to shake things up a bit, see if they could generate some more offense.
That one clips the outside corner. 2-2 now is the count here to Carter. There's one out in the inning, nobody on here, bottom of the second. As M. Rob getting set to deliver this pitch here. 2-2 pitch coming. Swung on and missed for strike 3. They're going to simply throw that one down, and back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts there, third of the game for Emily Robinson.
Boy, we talked about her numbers in the better than 8-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and quite frankly, she hasn't really messed around. She's just simply challenged, and we've seen it a little bit more with Robinson, just like we saw with Lucky, beginning to pitch in, especially to those righties. Hasn't been afraid to do it, and she's found a lot of success early.
Now this is going to be the second baseman Johnson coming to the plate. She stands in, takes that pitch high for a ball. Rachel and Kim Stranisha cheering on the Indians here on this, what is this, Thursday night, or is it Friday morning yet?
We're getting close to Friday morning. We're going to get to Friday morning before this one's over.
Yeah, it is. 1-1 now is the count, and I say this is the first time that's actually not true.
No.
I remember we were down at LSU Eunice, and we had a 10:45 start time, and I think we ended that thing around 2:30. That was, yeah. 1-1 pitch coming.
At least you're at home tonight. You can handle that.
Yeah, I'm going to say I got a 10-minute drive versus an hour back to the hotel. I got a 10-minute drive to the house. So that pitch just missing outside. Some of the ICC faithful, not a big fan of that location. 2-1 now is the count here to Johnson. 2 outs, nobody on. Johnson pulls that one down the third base line. It goes foul, even things up now at 2-2.
Well, one of the few times we've seen a pitch away from the righties. As Robinson primarily trying to jam those right-handers inside. She's got that great movement that does tail in to right-handed hitters. Went away there, got a foul ball strike.
Waiting the 2-2 offering now here from Imrod. This one popped up, and this one's well into the night, and it's going to get out of play. And we'll sit at 2-2.
Goes with it again. Good job there by Molly Johnson, the second baseman, to just get something on it, foul it off, try to make Robinson work a bit.
So count stays at 2-2. Here to Johnson. And that pitch outside, 3-2 now is the count.
So a good at bat here for Johnson. Down to the count 1-2, able to stay alive with a couple of foul balls, and now is running the count full. Chance to be a 2-out base runner.
So winning the full count pitch here from Emily Robinson. And we're going to do it all over again. 3-2 stays the count here. Nice at bat by Johnson. As she has battled off a few pitches there. So going to do it all over again. 3-2 pitch coming here from Robinson as she checks her number, now set to deliver. This pitch ripped, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Actually going to get by the outfielder, and that's going to go for a double. Big hit there. She never checked up running that time, and Jeremy, that's kind of what we talked about. We wonder how the ball's going to play when it gets to the outfield, and that one kind of just hit. And instead of taking the normal hop up, kind of hit and looked like your driver took off with some authority.
Yeah, second double of the year for Johnson. You're right about that. You and I are looking at Mackenzie Patterson, who's shaded a little bit into left center field anyway. That ball kind of in between. I think Patterson thought it might stay up, and then when she realized it wasn't, she was trying to backtrack because that ball did skid on the turf out there, and once it went past her, obviously no chance to keep Johnson at first base. So a big 2-out hit, a really terrific at-bat by Johnson to keep the inning alive.
Swing and a miss as this is Davis, the shortstop, at the plate. Second hit of the game, and both of those hits have been doubles for Co-Lin. ICC still hitless through 2 innings.
Well, Johnson had an RBI single last night, and Davis had a bunt single RBI last night. So these are the two that came up with the big hits that put the Wolves in the winner's bracket.
Olivia Burns checking in, watching as well. So numbers to the roof here tonight.
You're going to look up analytically. This is going to be your largest listened to broadcast of the year.
I know, it's because we brought you in. People are like, hey, somebody actually knows what he's talking about.
Got some South Mississippi flavor tonight.
0-2 now is the count here to Davis. Runner at second. That pitch outside. Couldn't get her to chase one that time. 1-2 now goes the count.
And, of course, she's getting a little help from her friend out there at second base, Molly Johnson, leaning in with her arm, signaling pitch is going to be outside, inside, down the middle. That would get you beamed in baseball.
Yeah.
Nobody really pays any attention to it in softball.
And this one fouled back, and we'll stay at 1-2 once again.
Was that different for you the first time you started in softball a lot to see that? I remember the first time I saw that at this level, I thought, boy, that's a little odd. I don't know how you respond to that. But then everybody that had done it for a long time was like, yeah, they've done that for a while. And I was so used to this baseball mentality of, you see that tomorrow night at Roy Crescent Field, it's going to stop the game for a bit.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a much more friendly, I guess you could say, sport in that sense. 1-2 now is the count. ICC looking for the exit. This one's fouled off, and we'll stay at 1-2. Speaking of Roy Crescent Field, you can see the lights in the background. They're lit up out there as they're getting the field prepared for tomorrow's game 1 of the best-of-3 series against Gulf Coast. That'll be available on the Blue Channel. It'll come your way at 6 o'clock at night. We will still be playing baseball at this time tomorrow night.
Yeah, another good day of softball. That's a big tournament. The Region 23 tournament coming up in a couple of weeks for the baseball guys.
That pitch missing low and outside. 2-2 now is the count.
Well, you just see what Molly Johnson's at-bat did. I mean, she frustrated Robinson, I think, a little bit. Fell behind, fouled off some pitches, and then got what she wanted, turned it into a double. And now you can see Robinson a little frustrated with herself right now. And I think that's all because of the battle that Molly Johnson gave her a batter ago.
2-2 pitch. fouled off, and Co-Lin, tell you what, they make you earn strikeouts as they foul off a bunch of pitches in this at-bat, the previous at-bat, and this is going to be the 8th pitch of this at-bat coming up for Robinson.
Let everybody in because of the slapper Davis. If she gets this at all over any of those outfielders with the way Johnson runs, that's going to bring home a run, even with how shallow the outfield is playing.
Swinging and a miss, ball gets away. They're going to have to throw this one down to first. They do so, and that's another Renaissance Bank strikeout, a big one there, 4th of the game, 3rd of the inning. We've played 2 in Fulton. We're still scoreless between ICC and Co-Lin. When we come back, it'll be the 8-9-1 batters due up for the Indians, Stevens, Boatner, and Patterson, as we'll hear a few words from Coke and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
You know what I remember when you were born?
Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome back now as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Still no score here in the final game of the day. Started at 12 o'clock today. Long time ago, Jeremy.
It was a long time ago. Back when there was daylight and no threat of rain. And a whole bunch of people in the press box that I've worked with over the years. Northeast, Northwest, ICC folks. Now it's just you and me and your crew here tonight.
Yes. So this is Connor Stevens at the plate. Takes a healthy chop at that first pitch. Comes up empty for strike 1. Stevens playing in right field. She'll be followed by Boatner and then Patterson as we'll go back to the top of the lineup here for the Indians. Pretty good pitcher's duel. We've got 4 strikeouts for Robinson, 3 for Lucky. As that one right at the knees for a strike. 0-2 now is the count.
So if she gets that call, it's going to be awfully tough to do anything if you're a right-handed hitter. Low and away, catches the very corner of that strike zone.
So Stevens got to choke up and protect the plate here. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and quick work of Stevens there. 4th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game for Lucky.
Well, she has really settled in. We talked about which pitcher could do that first, and I think both have done a good job. Lucky seems to have been able to really get her command going last couple of pitches. She's got a strikeout streak there and went right after Connor Stevens.
And now this is going to be Katie Boatner at the plate. Shortstop here for the Indians. Made a great defensive play earlier in the contest. Looks at that pitch for a strike, and I tell you what, Lucky is dialed in.
Yeah, that pitch on the outside corner, a little smile there. I don't know if she, kind of threw the wrong pitch and it just, landed in the strike zone or what. But yeah, I think she feels like she's starting to get into a groove.
Shows bunt, pulls back, takes it for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Kimmy Brown checking in, watching as well. I need to start doing like a $1 charge.
I was
for
about to say
shout-outs.
you could make some money off of this. Everybody going, hey, I want my name to be on the broadcast.
So the 1-1 pitch coming. That one hangs up high. But anybody that's watching at 11 o'clock at night, they've earned.
Good for you.
They've earned it.
Good for you.
So 2-1 now is the count here to Boatner. As Lucky taking her time now, set to deliver. That one missing low. 3-1 now is the count. We talk about the dew in the outfield, but you see how wet the infield is as well. The chalk, if you step on it and step away, is leaving a footprint. So it looks very messy around home plate, I guess, is the best way to say that. Shows butt, pulls back, takes it for ball 4.
And just as we were talking about Lucky being in a groove, she got strike 1 there on Boatner, and then all of a sudden threw 4 out of the zone, and none were particularly close.
And this is Patterson, who walked in her first plate appearance. She stole a base and was left stranded at second. That was all the way back in the first inning. And so with 1 out and a runner at first, Patterson and the Indians still looking for their first hit of the game. Patterson looks at that first pitch for a strike. Now, we talked about this, or you talked about this in the Jones, Gulf Coast game, some of the other games as well. It's one of those situations where if you keep getting those first pitches over for a strike, your mentality at the plate's got to change a little bit, maybe get aggressive early.
Yeah, I know obviously for leadoff hitters, they're sort of trained to work counts and foul pitches off and take pitches.
Runner goes, the throw is high, and that'll be a stolen base there for Boatner. As is a swinging strike as well, 0-2 now is the count here on Patterson.
But that's what you get with ICC, though. They kind of lull you to sleep. They get on base and they try to manufacture it. But, yeah, look, I mean, you hitters, obviously, you may not see it at the top of the order. They're more trained to try to take pitches and work the count. But definitely, you're middle to bottom of the order. That's where you got to start being a little more aggressive and go first pitch swinging.
Ground ball, third baseman blocked it up nicely. Throw over, it's not in time, and it gets away. Indians may cash in on this error here, and they will. Big time play there. The ball was hit hard. The throw, I think, would have been in time as E5 on the play, but ICC cashes in and scores the first run of the game.
Yeah, you see the replay there. You're right, a hard hit ball. Bromham did a good job to knock it down and then tried to make the throw over there. Just one hopped it. Unfortunately, Bailey Jackson for Co-Lin couldn't scoop it up, but that definitely not the best throw ever. She would have been better off to just sort of eat it. I know it's easier said than done. You think you've got a chance to make the play over there. She did a great job to knock it down. The throw just wasn't great, but that's what getting runners on and moving them around can do. It puts pressure on the defense.
That first pitch goes high for a ball as Patterson also advanced over to second on that throwing error. ICC leads it 1-0 as Boatner was able to come around and score.
Goes back to that at bat. We talked about Lucky looking like she was getting into a groove, then issued that walk. And all of a sudden, it can turn on you just like that.
Well, this is Rutledge at the plate right now. Patterson kind of toying with Carter, taking her time back to second and making Carter kind of walk her back, if you will. 1-1 now is the count here to Rutledge. Rutledge 0 for 1 on the evening. Swings on this one, and foul ball was quickly called. And so 1-2 now is the count.
That's a good pitch down in the zone. Rutledge is trying to just roll over on it, shoot it to the right side, and allow the runner to move to third. Lucky got that pitch so low, it was just beat into the ground foul.
So 1-2 now is the count. There's going to be a grounder to the right side. Second baseman's bobbled it for a second, able to get it across. 4-3 on the putout, but works as a bunt as the runner is able to advance to third.
Yeah, it's exactly what Rutledge was trying to do the pitch before. That time she was able to get on top of it and roll it over. And a good job by Molly Johnson. Momentum kind of took her away from the ball for a moment, and I think that's what allowed her to bobble it, but she did a good job to keep her composure once it was in the glove and throw it over to first base. And so, Indians obviously trying to come up with a clutch 2-out hit. If you're Lucky and Co-Lin, you want to get out of this, no further damage, and still a lot of softball to play.
This is Hayes at the plate. She's catching. She's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Stands in, takes that first pitch. Ooh, good-looking pitch. Called a ball. Guess that one's going to miss a little low and outside that time. Runner at third. That is Patterson, who's got a lot of speed, so if a ball gets away, she can score easily. As this one popped back and out of play. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at third. ICC cashed in on an error to take a 1-0 lead. trying to see if they can come up with a clutch 2-out hit here to pick up an insurance run early on in the contest. And, of course, when we talk about those insurance runs, we talk about your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, as that pitch goes high. 2-1 now is the count. For all your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, or life, stop by and see Joey right there on South Adams Street, the former ICC All-American in football and the ICC Athletic Hall of Famer, proud to help bring ICC athletics your way here on the ICC Sports Network. That pitch hangs up and outside. 3-1 now is the count.
Yeah, Lucky now trying to fight a little bit of a spotty control. Trying to go away to those righties. When she's been successful, it's when she's been attacking and coming into the right-handed hitters.
So the 3-1 pitch coming. This one popped back and out of play, and right there, Jeremy, as she came right back inside. 3-2 now is the count.
Yeah, that fastball in has really bothered some of those right-handed hitters for ICC. And I understand trying to go away, but I think our best bet is to try to come inside with those right-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters just simply don't want to try to hit that. And
like
we have a ribbon issue, maybe?
We do, a ribbon issue. That's the only thing we haven't seen today. There's a ribbon issue, yes.
Well, we might as well see one at 11:15.
Yes. So Watts helping Hayes out with that one there. 3-2 is the count. 2 outs here in the inning. Runner at third. ICC leads it 1-0. Co-Lin trying to find the exit and get out of this inning with minimum damage done. 3-2 pitch coming. Jammed her, popped her back, and we'll do it all over again.
Yeah, that was a really good inside fastball. Right-handed hitters just can't stand it. They can't lay off of it, for one, and it bothers them so much. Get them right there in on the hands, makes them uncomfortable. You get some uncomfortable swings, and that was kind of a defensive one from Kara Hayes.
So 3-2 remains the count here on Hayes. Rips this one, and it's going to be picked up by the second baseman. Throw over is in time to get the out. Back-to-back putouts by the second baseman ends the inning there, as the Indians do get 1 run on no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We have played 2.5 here in Fulton. ICC leads it 1-0. We'll take a break, hear a few words from our sponsors, and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. Who's gonna stop us?
Sir, Little Caesars has the lowest price pizza delivered, guaranteed.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. Get $5 off your first delivery.
Pizza.
Parmesan, Asiago, and fresh mozzarella.
All this cheesing is rather pleasing.
Yep, tastes like $1 million.
Pepperoni cheeser. Only $7.
Pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
And welcome back now as we head to the bottom of the third inning. ICC able to cash in on an error to push across a run. They lead it 1-0 despite not having a hit in the contest so far. Co-Lin, on the other hand, they've got a pair of doubles but no runs to show for it, as it's going to be the 9-1-2 batters coming up. Jackson, Maxwell, and Miller due up here in the bottom of the third.
Well, we talk about all the time. You start to see, if you're the hitter, you start to see that pitcher second time through. We're going to get there, 9-1-2, as you mentioned. And for pitchers, obviously, it's a big deal, too. I often kind of say the game really doesn't start until lineup turns over that first time, and you get second time and third time through, and the adjustments that are made from both the pitcher and the batter can a lot of times determine what happens late in the game.
So the first baseman, this is going to be Jackson at the plate to start us off here. Swings late at that one, misses. 0-1 now is the count here to Jackson.
Jackson didn't get an at-bat last night.
So she'll be seeing her first action, at least at the plate, here in the MACCC tournament. Robinson's pitch, and this one hit pretty solid but pulled foul. 0-2 now is the count. Kind of jammed her in its inside again. And that's what we're seeing. Both these pitchers work inside on the batters.
More so than we've seen. Cassidy Duskin at Northeast did a really good job with it from the left side. The only left-handed pitcher that we've seen in the tournament so far. And both these pitchers tonight, Robinson and Lucky, done a good job with that. To those right, it doesn't seem to bother, as crazy as it sounds, it doesn't really seem to bother the lefties as much as it does those right-handers.
0-2 now is the count. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there. Got her with a high heat, couldn't hold off on it. And that is the 5th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game here for M-Rob.
Yeah, 72 strikeouts on the year now. So you look back at what she's done this season, and with that strikeout now, she bumped that strikeout to walk ratio up to exactly 9-1. 72 strikeouts, 8 walks. Just gives you an idea of how terrific she's been this year.
Yeah, one of those pitchers that's going to be nominated for Pitcher of the Year opportunities at the end of the season as that pitch across there for a strike. But you think about this. Think about all the pitchers we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah.
The MACCC, they're always loaded, but this season they're really loaded when it comes to the arms and pitching.
Yeah, we just saw Nia Luckett throw a complete game shutout, striking out 16 Gulf Coast hitters. And Emily Coates pitched well enough to win that game. Unfortunately, for her, Luckett just out-dueled her. We've seen Hannah Embry pitch well. ICC's, getting a lot of really, really nice, pitching performances, as well. And that's the thing about it. You got to be able to pitch and have to win tournaments, multiple arms to do it, and these teams have certainly done that.
So waiting the 0-2 pitch here. Not a bad pitch to miss on there. See if you can get her to chase one. Couldn't do so. 1-2 now is the count here to Maxwell. She struck out swinging in her first appearance of the day.
Well, going back to last night, she struck out her last 2 plate appearances, and so 3 straight appearances for her. Got to have her get on base and be that table setter at the top of the lineup.
And this one grounded right back to M-Rob. Throw over is in time. Nice job defending her position there. 1-3 on the putout for out number 2. And now this will bring up Miller, who doubled in her first plate appearance of the game.
Boy, Robinson really looks comfortable right now. And you mentioned it. Miller had such a great at-bat. Did a good job fouling off some pitches, got the one she wanted, and then hammered it into the left center field gap.
You just saw there Robinson kind of directing traffic on where she wanted her defense to set up on the left side of the field. Still anticipating that slap hit as infield coming in there, and there's a hard hit ball right to the second baseman. Underhand toss. 4-3. Nice job there on the part of Henry to get the third out. 3 up, 3 down. Co-Lin goes there in the third. We've played 3 here in Fulton. ICC leads it 4-0. We're going to take a break, hear a few words from our sponsors, and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
When I came back to school this year, I brought my bank with me, and the student checking account at First American National Bank was perfect for me. No monthly fees and no minimum balance, and I can manage my money right from the app. I can do all my banking with text messaging if I want, and I can deposit a check just by taking a photo. It's that easy at FAMB.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
My bank followed me to college.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
It's that easy at First American National Bank.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as ICC and Co-Lin. 1-0 is the score here. As it's going to be Ivy Watts, Brianna Posey, and Madison Jenkins due up here. Indians lead this one 1-0 despite not having a hit in the contest so far. They're able to cash in on an error earlier as that ball hops across. Ball 1. Co-Lin's got 2 hits, both of those being doubles, so they've left a pair of runners in scoring position. One of them actually got to third base. but couldn't find their way home. That pitch inside, and that corner still there. 1-1 now is the count. Well, they got the ideal home plate umpire here because a lot of times throughout this tournament, we haven't seen that inside pitch consistently called a strike. Well, that's been the case tonight as he has been consistently with that strike call in the inside corner. Oh, nice diving stop there by the second baseman. Just cannot get up in time as that'll go for a hit.
Boy, Molly Johnson, you're right, did a good job. And I think the ball kind of fell. When she fell down, she kind of fell on it a bit.
Yeah.
You can tell she's kind of relaying that message to her middle infield and the dugout. That ball was really hit hard. You mentioned it, Ivy Watts is such a really good hitter. And you get a piece of that on the outside corner. It was hammered, and Johnson did a good job to keep that on the infield. Unfortunately for her, she just couldn't come up and make the throw over. So first hit, you talked about the Indians not having a hit. They got their first one and a leadoff runner here in the fourth.
And now this is going to bring up Posey, who struck out looking in her first appearance of the game. And, yeah, as you said, great stop, but just couldn't quite pop up quick enough to get the out over there at first base. So that first pitch right down the middle for a strike to Posey.
Look, if I were lucky, I would live there. That pitch has some great movement into the righties, and nobody for ICC has really been able to get a piece of that or handle it or look comfortable doing it. A lot of them have given up on it, and it's been called a strike.
Big, healthy swing and a miss there, and that's what you get a lot of times. Inside, and then you just throw anything outside, and they're seeing it. They're like, oh, here's a missed pitch. I got a chance to do something, and it's out of the zone. You miss it for a strike.
Yeah, you throw strikes, and you do it by mixing speeds and mixing locations. It's going to be pretty tough to beat every single time.
So 0-2 is the count here to Posey. And this one is back, and no, not deep enough. Just got underneath that one, as that one sounded like it was going to travel for days off the bat.
Yeah, I thought that ball was gone. Wilkinson made a great play out there in left field just to track it down, and it just died at the warning track. That one sounded off the bat like it was about to be a two-run shot. That time, Lucky made a mistake. She was trying to go middle away. Ball didn't really move where she wanted it. Caught nothing but the heart of the plate, and boy, that was missed by about 5 feet for being a two-run homer.
I think if that's hit about an hour or so earlier, it's out of the ballpark. With the dew settling in the ninth, the ball's not going to travel as well, and that was an example of it there. So nothing but exciting out there. Now this is going to be Jenkins at the plate. She asked for time, and she will get it here. One out, runner at first, and Ivy Watts. Jenkins hit the ball hard. It was a liner out to center field in her only appearance so far here. She is the DP in this contest. Jammed her here, pops it up. It's going to get out of play, and that'll go for strike one. So 0-1 is the count.
Well, the Indians have done a good job. You're trying to make Lucky throw more pitches, just foul pitches off. It's been a little bit more of a work for her than it has been for Robinson up to this point. But you mentioned she's pitched well enough. I mean, run that's on the board is unearned because of the errors.
1-0 is the score. Runner at first, one out. 0-1 is the count here to Jenkins. Jenkins looks at that pitch high, evens things up now at 1-1. Well, the winner of this game will get probably one of the hottest teams in the country right now in Jones.
Yeah.
Man, they have looked good in this tournament, and their pitching has backed them up as well as their bats have been red hot. So that pitch, again, that inside corner is still being called a strike. 1-2 now is the count.
Yeah, that one a little bit lower in the zone, I think, that time than what we've seen. But another right-handed hitter that, and maybe perhaps this time Jenkins wasn't at fault for doing it, but another right-handed hitter that gave up on it just because it's an uncomfortable pitch to try to hit. If you're lucky, I think you got to stay there until the Indians make an adjustment.
So waiting the 1-2 offering here from Lucky. And wow, that one caught a ball. That's been a strike up until that one right there.
Boy, that's the pitch that's been there all night for. I mean, I think you go back to it. I mean, you see how, I mean, she backed up out of it. You know, Madison Jenkins wanted no part of that inside fastball.
So 2-2 now is the count here to Jenkins. Swing and a miss for strike three. Nice job. Couldn't get that inside pitch looking for the inside pitch, then give him something outside, high, swung underneath it, swing and a miss for the strikeout.
That time, pitch went middle away. Good late movement away from the righty Jenkins. That's a big strikeout.
5th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game. 2nd out of the inning. Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you. Visit RenaissanceBank.com. Well, Renaissance Bank has loved this tournament.
A lot of them. A lot of strikeouts. Just really good pitching. And even in some high-scoring games, I mean, even Northwest and Northeast today, that 18 combined runs, there were a lot of strikeouts in that one, too.
Yeah, it was feast or famine in that game for sure, as that first pitch goes high for a ball. As this is Hannah Henry, who struck out to end the 2nd inning. That previous strikeout was the 5th of the game for Lucky. That one missing low. 2-0 now is the count here to Henry. Watts is over at first base. She had a single that was stopped by the second baseman, as Jeremy said, when she kind of fell on the ball, hurt herself or knocked the wind out of herself, couldn't pop up in enough time to throw the out. And that's been the only hit of the game for ICC. That pitch drifting high and inside. 3-0 now is the count. If Henry were to find her way on, that'll be Connor Stevens up next here for the Indians. And taking the whole way that time, 3-1 now is the count. From the top of the 4th inning, 1-0 ICC with the lead. And then that one, ball 4, gets away. Runner will advance. So now this is going to be Connor Stevens at the plate. 3rd walk of the game issued by Lucky.
Number 30. Yeah, control, I beg your pardon, it's kind of come and gone a little bit. I mean, there have been times when she's looked dominant. You get the sense she's about to go on a roll, a little bit like what we've seen from Robinson. But you look at her numbers this year, 52 strikeouts, 30 walks coming into tonight, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. That's kind of about what it's been all year long. She's not yet quite at a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Of course, I mean, she's obviously been successful. You look at the numbers.
And not really sure what's going on here, as the pitcher keeps looking towards the dugout, and umpire kind of steps out, throws his hands aside, says, what's going on?
There's a conversation between Malia Howard, the head coach, and the home plate umpire.
That pitch in there for a strike. I don't know what she could be saying anything about. I mean, the strike zone's been consistent between both teams, and he has been very favorable for Lucky on these inside fastballs, and that's where she's been living, and as you said, should keep living until ICC can do something about it. As this pitch fouled back by Stevens, 0-2 now is the count.
Yeah, she threw that first pitch inside to Jenkins and came back with a pitch kind of low and away. And now you're 0-2. You can really throw anything here. She needs a good pitch. Co-Lin trying to keep this thing at just 1 run.
So Stevens with runners at first and second here. 0-2 is the count, 2 outs. Grounder, shortstop, bobbles it for a second, going to head to third. Probably a smart play. Don't know if she would have had the out at first, but either way it goes, does get the out there to end the inning. 1-0, ICC leads it. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th when we come back here on the ICC Sports Network.
You live life on your own terms. You won't be told what you can't do. And we're here to back you. From the boardroom to the big stage, Renaissance Bank supports women striving for success. Because greatness isn't held to anyone's expectations, except yours. So if anyone says you can't, prove them wrong. Rise with Renaissance, supporting women and the communities they influence every day.
Natalie, when she was first driving, she literally swerved off the road a lot because she was looking at herself in the mirror.
Maybe I look at life differently.
You don't call it over space, it's outer space.
But it's underwear.
The top's right here, look.
You always say chocolate's so weird. It's like chocolate.
Wherever the conversation takes you, we're here. This is Howie Sonic.
And welcome back now as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning for Co-Lin. It'll be the 3-4-5 batters due up. ICC leads it 1-0 thanks to an error back in the 3rd inning that allowed Bodner, who walked, stole a base, to eventually come around and score when Patterson reached on a 2-base error back in the third. That's the difference in the contest right now, as Jeremy has just been a pitcher's duel back and forth here. Only 3 hits in the contest so far.
Yeah, both pitchers have been pretty good. I mean, obviously Lucky has had to struggle a little bit more, and she's had 3 walks to go with her 5 strikeouts, but she's been very good. ICC really hasn't hit her all that hard. And then, of course, Emily Robinson is doing what she's done all year. Pound the strike zone, strike out a lot of hitters, and really keep the other team off balance. She's gotten a chance a couple of times to pitch with runners on and has been successful in keeping Co-Lin off the scoreboard.
That was what we called a strike as she swung that time, as this is Brobham at the plate. 0-1 is the count. Well, Hayes did not like the fact that the umpire did not call that one right away, as she was pointing down the first, and then the home plate umpire was like, I got it, it's a strike. As this one popped back and out of play. 0-2 now is the count here to Brobham. She grounded out to the third baseman for the second out of the first inning.
1 for 3 in the tournament. Drew a walk last night, got a single.
And so 0-2 now is the count here to Brobham. She's playing third base. That pitch high, couldn't get her to chase one. Like Rob just didn't like the release point, as she kind of, I guess you see them when pitchers do that occasionally, just go right back through their motions, saying this is how I need to release the ball, as that one drifted high on her.
No repetition, obviously. When you're Robinson, you're such a in-rhythm pitcher. You need to do that from time to time.
And that's going to be a foul ball, and just foul down the line there, as that one just hit on the left side of the chalk. And I thought that one was fair from my point of view.
Yeah, Brobham almost had herself a lead-off double, and we're getting some confirmation from people with a better angle than us on the right side of the press box.
Yeah, I would say I thought it, unless it hit and then rolled over, but I would say it looked like it went over the bag from my point of view. So that's going to say a big-time break there for the Indians on that one. 1-2 now is the count here to Brobham.
Big gap in right center, being shaded to go left side.
That pitch missing low. 2-2 now is the count.
You look at Mackenzie Patterson, she's a good 10 feet left of the Indians logo out there in center field, essentially playing left center. And, of course, right fielder Connor Stevens deep and a little bit more towards straightaway right field.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off, and will stay at 2-2. Well, again, they're going to check to see if she wants a different softball, as anytime the ball goes near a grassy area with all the dew settling in. And Rob says, I like this one. I'm going to stay with it. He got me to a 2-2 count at this point, and she's getting set to deliver this pitch here. And this one fouled back and off the glove and of the catcher, the head of the umpire, and Hayes is going to walk it out to her pitcher and talk for a moment, make sure the umpire has a moment to collect himself after it bounced off of him. And so we're going to stay at 2-2.
Better do that sometimes. Maybe buy you a borderline pitch. Be a little nice to the home plate umpire.
Just come back and be like, sir, are you okay?
It would be so terrible if you had to sit out for another pitch or two.
So 2-2 now is the count. Robinson delivers, and this one's going to be fouled off again.
Better run it out. Well, if you're Boy, that's kind of dangerous. If you're Kara Hayes, at that point, you got to go touch that thing if once it becomes foul. Otherwise, I think she kind of gave up on it a little bit early. Otherwise, the chance for Brobham to beat it out and get an infield single.
Yeah, once you see your first baseman come up as well, that's when you grab it.
Yeah.
So a big-time break there. Ninth pitch of the at-bat here to Brobham. 2-2 is the count. Man, Co-Lin has fouled off a whole lot of pitches.
I did that last night, too. You were here producing that one when they played Pearl River.
So the 2-2 pitch coming. This one lifted, and it's going to be trouble. It's going to be down for a base hit. Thought about trying to go two, but instead that's going to be a single.
Boy, you're right. Brobham, I thought off the bat this was definitely going to be a double. And a good job by Connor Stevens in right field to get over there. I thought it might hit and skid towards the wall and allow Brobham to get to second base. But Stevens played it well. She was already deep anyway and took a really good angle to cut that ball off and get it back in quickly. It's a good hit by Brobham and a really good at bat. You mentioned all the foul balls, and that can really frustrate a pitcher, even one as talented as Emily Robinson. But I think Co-Lin's a little disappointed they didn't get 2 out of that.
Third hit of the game there for Co-Lin. Runner at first, no outs. And that pitch right down the middle as this is Wilkinson at the plate. She grounded out to the shortstop on a great play by Boatner to end the first inning.
Yeah,
also got to give credit to the stretch for Watts on that play as well.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the way Boatner, her instincts to charge that, catch it before that hop, that in-between hop, and then make a really nice throw to first base. She made a very difficult play look pretty routine.
That ball was fouled back off the netting. 0-2 now is the count. Runner at first. There are no outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. ICC with a 1-0 lead. Marathon of a day of the MACCC softball tournament. Awaiting this 0-2 pitch here from Robinson. And they're going to appeal down to first. No, they're going to say she checked up. And no, they're going to say strike 3 on the appeal.
Well, I think they got it right. It just went the long way to do so. Mel Wilkinson couldn't quite lay off of the elevated fastball. And Robinson gets a big strikeout there. And I wasn't sure that they were going to get that appeal, and give credit to the catcher Kara Hayes for insisting on it. If not, then Wilkinson would have been back at the plate.
So now this is going to bring up Blanchard. As she stands in, takes that first pitch high for a ball. Yeah, Hayes come up, and she was looking for any umpire to point to. She wanted to appeal that one right away, and the first base umpire did not waste any time in saying yes, she went for strike 3. So Blanchard at the plate. She struck out swinging. That was to start the second inning, as this ball fouled back over the top of us here in the ICC Alumni Affairs and Foundation broadcast booth. Find out how you can contribute to Itawamba Community College softball team by visiting iccms.edu/foundation. That's iccms.edu/foundation. Or you can give to the Sports Information Department as well.
Care of Adam Gore.
Yes. 1-1 now is the count. 1 out and a runner at first. Blanchard rips this one, and it's a fair ball. Now, wow, that one looked even more foul than the previous one.
Yeah, that one had just some really late tailing movement, and I think Coach Kirk is going to come out and try to argue that one. I don't know how in the world it would be overturned. He's going to look. He's going to point, and you and I were looking at it immediately, and I think you and I both thought that was going to be a foul ball.
I mean, it may have jumped over the bag, but if they're going to call that one before a foul ball, that one looked more foul than the previous one.
Yeah, Co-Lin, maybe, as you mentioned, ICC got a break the last time. Looks like Co-Lin's going to get a break this time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be even, but
softball gods just working things out.
Yeah. And now, for the first time tonight, Robinson in a bit of a jam. First and second, 1 out. Abigail Carter, 9 home runs, second on the team in that category, has a lot of extra base hits. In fact, a large percentage of her hits are extra base hits. She's struggling a little bit lately. Be a good time for her, if you're a Co-Lin fan, for her to come through with a big hit.
Carter was looking for that big hit there. Healthy swing, but could not catch up with it. Strike 1. Runners at first and second. ICC clinging to a 1-0 lead here. The Indians would love to see if they can find a Little Caesars double play to get out of this inning. Co-Lin, however, looking to keep the bats hot here. Second hit of the inning, as this one ripped up the middle, and they're going to test the arm of Patterson, and there's not going to be a throw, and we've got a tie ball game. Don't know what Patterson was doing that time. She didn't even try to come home with the play.
I don't know, first of all, Patterson just thought because Brabham twice, she didn't get a chance to take second on the single, and then on the what we thought would have been a double, she had to go first to second. Maybe Patterson thought, well, she's not going to run, and they're not going to test the arm. So she throws it back in and hits the cutoff man. If she comes up throwing immediately, if you get a good relay, I think Brabham is going to be out at home. And then the other thing about this, too, is they throw behind the – with Sarah Blanchard at first base moving to second base, and if the tag is applied, I think Blanchard would have been out at second base. As it stands, it's an RBI single for Abigail Carter to tie the game, and Co-Lin's got runners at first and second, only one down. It's a big hit for Carter and a good sign if you're Co-Lin. They need her bat if they want to go deep in this tournament and make the region tournament.
There's a hit to the third baseman. Is going to step on one. Are they going to get two? Yes, they do. A Little Caesars double play for ICC to get out of the inning and cut the damage to a minimum. 5 unassisted to 3. Another great stretch over there at first base by Ivy Watts. But Co-Lin does scratch a run across. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. Who's gonna stop us?
Sir, Little Caesars has the lowest price pizza delivered, guaranteed.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. Get $5 off your first delivery.
Pizza.
Parmesan, Asiago, and fresh mozzarella.
All this cheesing is rather pleasing. Yep, tastes like $1 million.
Pepperoni cheeser. Only $7.
Pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 1-1 is the score here in Fulton. Game number 4 on the day, as ICC and Co-Lin battling here. As it's going to be Katie Boatner, then back to the top lineup, and Patterson and Rutledge due up here for the Indians. ICC is getting some, looks like maybe Jenkins loose in the bullpen.
Well, now if you're Bella Lucky for the first time in a while, you're pitching without being behind, and you got to come up with that shutdown inning. You hear it talked about all the time, baseball, softball. When your team scores, you got to have your pitcher go out there and throw strikes. She sat for a while, so you wonder how that will affect her rhythm. She's been good tonight so far, but does have those 3 walks to go along with 5 strikeouts.
Boatner's going to slap one to the third baseman. He's going to have to hurry. The throw is not in time. That was just Boatner wanting to get to first, and she found extra gear.
Yeah, she can fly, and that's what you want with a left-handed batter. Hit it on the ground left side, hit it slowly enough, and use your legs. They had a strong throw over there by Carlin Brabham, but just not enough time to get the speedy Boatner.
So Boatner gets the second hit of the game, her first hit, second hit of the game for the Indians. And now this is going to bring up Patterson. Patterson walked, reached on an error that allowed Boatner to score. It's going to show bunt, takes it for a strike, throw down, and that's in time. Oh, they're going to call obstruction. And a bad collision out there at second base as Boatner slow to get up here, as they're going to call obstruction on the second baseman, and the second baseman also shaken up out there. Is a scary moment as both the players were laying on the field just kind of not moving for a second, and it's one of those where they're just like, all right, I got to get up. So let's take a quick timeout, hear a word from our sponsors, and be back with more right after this.
Natalie, when she was first driving, she literally swerved off the road a lot because she was looking at herself in the mirror.
Maybe I look at life differently.
You don't call it over space, it's outer space.
But it's underwear.
The top's right here, look.
You always say chocolate's so weird. It's like chocolate. Chocolate. Chocolate.
Wherever the conversation takes you, we're here. This is Howie Sonic.
And welcome back, and a little softball 101 being presented to you by Kegel Eye Center. As Kevin letting us know something new here, that was actually now considered an error in the scoring sense because obstruction error on the obstructor, E6, allowed Boatner to reach. Second error of the game for Co-Lin.
Yeah, Molly Davis, the shortstop, trying to go over there. The throw took her that way. And
that's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, and that's the only problem. If you're trying to argue against that, you understood we talk about blocking the plate and trying to make sure you don't have what happened to Buster Posey years ago.
Yeah.
But in that situation, the throw took her to the first base side of the second base bag. And if you're Molly Johnson, Molly Davis, I beg your pardon, your argument would be, hey, what am I supposed to do? Just let that go into center field. The issue is, I'm not arguing against obstruction. I'm just saying that's the one thing that's so tough about that at second base, because if she lets that go, that goes into center field. And with how speedy Boatner is, she's standing right now at third base.
Easily. Is that pitch missing for a ball? 1-2 now is the count here to Patterson. So big, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Big sequence here, though, for Lucky and Co-Lin. Gotta come up with a way to get your first out without Lorna being advanced.
As Patterson swinging away, fouls that one off. Count will stay at 1-2.
And if you're Patterson, too, the approach has to be you're looking middle to the right side of the infield. Anything you can to get Boatner from second to third base with 1 out.
So 1-2 now is the count. Boatner's at second. Got there after the error. That pitch missing low. Count evens up now at 2-2. Indians got, again, action in the bullpen. That is Madison Jenkins getting loose. 1-1 is the score. Speedy Boatner at second. Anything down to the outfield will score a run here for the Indians. 2-2 pitch and foul back, and we'll stay at 2-2.
All right, really like this battle right now at the plate. Mackenzie Patterson doing a great job. She's getting pitched on the outside corner, and she's just shooting at the opposite field for a foul ball, or in that case, fouling it behind the press box. If you're lucky, you may want to try to go inside, see if you can get her to swing over the top of it.
2-2 pitch, and that one fouled off, and we'll do it all over again. So Patterson at the plate. We'll switch out balls here after that one rolls around, and it's a little wet out there as we talk about the dew settling on the ground in the outfield and behind the plate in the grassy areas. 2-2 is the count. Lucky trying to find her first out here of the inning. And this one popped up and caught. What a play. And they're going to look quickly back to see if she might have stepped on the bag as she caught that to turn the double play, but Boatner just got her foot back in time. That might have been a double play.
Yeah, really good job by Molly Johnson, the second baseman. I'm like you. I thought when that ball was popped up, I thought, boy, this could really be in no man's land here and be tough for Co-Lin, but Johnson did a good job to come over and make the nice play. And then my second thought was exactly what you mentioned, was Boatner too far off the bag, and if Johnson touched the base, is that a double play? No real discussion from any of the Co-Lin coaches, and so it just goes as an out and a really nice play by Johnson at second base.
This is Rutledge at the plate, the left fielder. That ball hopped across for ball 1 as it was just slipped out of her hand a little too soon. Runner stayed at second. That pitch missing outside for a ball, a spot that she's been able to get that call on righties, but not so much on lefties.
Well, give that one to Abigail Carter. I think she made that one look a little bit closer than it was. That one, I think, was a ball and a half on the outside corner, but good frame job there. Now you're sitting with a 2-0 count. Again, the approach has to be middle to the right side. Anything to get the runner to third.
And this one's hit, and it's going to drop, and this should score a run. And it will, and that's going to be a double for the Indians, and ICC retakes the lead 2-1. Big time hit there for Rutledge.
Boy, that's about as good as it gets. Rutledge gets a pitch middle away on a 2-0 count, and she just absolutely hammered it in that left center field gap. That's as perfect as it gets, an easy RBI double. And we talk about the resiliency of this ICC team. You gave up a run in the bottom of that inning. They come back and get one here in the top of the fifth. Recapture the lead, and if you're Bella lucky, that's the only disappointing part about this. You give up leadoff runners, so tough to keep that ICC lineup from scoring with the way they move runners around.
Looked like Rutledge kind of took a little bit of a spill once she got on second base, and she just quickly popped back up. First extra base hit of the game, and that is the third hit of the game for the Indians. First of the day for Rutledge, an RBI double there, and ICC now has battled back to take a 2-1 advantage. That pitch outside for a ball, as this is Kara Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 2. She has a strikeout and ground out to second in her most recent at-bat. Indians trying to see if they can get hot here, warm these bats up, and keep things rolling here. You've got good speed in Rutledge at second. There's that inside pitch, and it's across for a strike.
Yeah, Lucky's got to go back to that, particularly to those righties. We've seen her go outside and away to all those lefties. And now coming back into Hayes. And look, if you're lucky, it's disappointing, but look, you got to minimize. I mean, your one-run deficit's not the end of the world. You just got to make sure it's not a two-run deficit.
They show the bunt. They're going to try to throw to first, and it's in time. Just in time as she tried to lay down that surprise bunt.
Lucky threw a bullet over there at first base.
Yeah.
Well, if you're Molly Johnson got the glove up just to protect herself. I mean, that ball was really tossed over there. A good job to cover there if you're Johnson. And so the bunt does work, gets Rutledge to third base. Now if you're lucky and Co-Lin, you say, look, make a pitch, get it out, and you're still okay. You got 9 outs to work with to try to make up one run.
1-4 on the put out of Hayes, and now Watts, who singled her last time up, but it was one of those where the second baseman made a diving stop, just could not get up in enough time to throw Watts out. So Ivy looking for her second hit of the contest here and see if she can help the Indians pick up an insurance run. Watts takes a heavy swing at that one, swing and a miss for strike one. 0-1 now is the count. You got Rutledge at third. She's got good speed, so if a ball gets away, she could possibly score from third. Watts fouls this one off. 0-2 now is the count. Lucky's done a good job after giving up that double to kind of quickly settle down and fill up that strike zone, and she's quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2.
That time did a good job. Went with a pitch middle away. She's mixed those speeds up. Wouldn't be surprised if she tries to come right back in on that inside corner.
That's exactly what she does, and there's a ground ball by Watts. Ivy's going to look for two, and she's safe. Clutch hit there for Ivy Watts.
Lucky trying to go inside. This one missed her spot a bit. It was a little bit low, but more towards center cut. And boy, Ivy Watts, you mentioned it, did a good job to drop the barrel down and got a piece of it and hammered it down the left field, the third base line for a double. Great throw out there by Madeline Wilkinson, but an RBI double. And boy, it's a big response for the Indians to put plate two here in the fifth.
Yeah, big time clutch hit there, and now this is going to bring up Posey. Says an RBI double. My pen went out on me. It got so excited that time, so I had to quickly find a new pen. 3-1 is the score now, and a change up that Just couldn't find the zone there. Good pitch. 1-1 now is the count.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches by Lucky. Haven't really seen that sequence a lot tonight. Been mostly velocity stuff inside of the right-handed hitters.
That pitch missing outside. 2-1 now is the count here to Posey. Boy, she put a charge into one in her previous at-bat. Just couldn't quite get enough of it to get it out of the ballpark as she sent it to the fence for a fly out to left. She's also struck out looking 0 for 2. Big healthy swing there. 2-2 now is the count.
So that one right down the middle. If you're Brianna Posey, you're not going to get one much more fat than that. Just missed it, swung right through it. Good pitch by Bella Lucky.
So Lucky trying to find the exit here. Indians trying to extend the inning and swing and a miss for strike 3. Big time Renaissance Bank strike out there to end the inning. But the Indians do get 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We'll take a timeout, hear a few words from our sponsors, and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Student involvement is a top priority here at Itawamba Community College.
If you want to be involved with student government, then the Student Government Association is the place for you.
If you have a stellar GPA, then Phi Theta Kappa is for you.
If you're interested in the diverse culture of our campus population, then the Diversity Club is for you.
If you're interested in leadership and service, then Indian Delegation is for you.
If you're majoring in computer programming or computer networking, then CPNA, the Computer Programming Networking Association, is for you.
If you're interested in good conversations and free lunch on Thursdays, then the Wesley Foundation is for you.
Our health science programs also have specific organizations for those majors.
Student Activities is excited to bring you new opportunities here at the ICC Tupelo campus.
Whatever your passion may be, we have a place for you.
This video is brought to you by Phi Theta Kappa, Beta Chi Sigma, Tupelo campus.
Good morning and welcome back as we head now to the bottom of, what inning were we in? The bottom of the 5th. That's what inning we're in as I had us in the bottom of the 4th. But it is the bottom of the 5th inning. ICC with a 3-1 lead. We are just a few minutes past midnight here. A day that started at noon with the First American National Bank opening pitch is now carried over into the next day here, as now it will be Davis, Jackson, and Maxwell due up here for Co-Lin. Davis struck out, swinging in her first at bat today is Robinson still on this in the circle here. That pitch missing for a ball. 1-0 is the count.
Well, if you're Co-Lin, then you got to try to find a way to respond again. You're going to get the bottom of that order, but it's going to flip, and you got to have something from Shelby Maxwell, who will hit third in this lineup. Co-Lin's going to get a chance one more time through. They're going to get their better hitters to the plate. They got to have them come through. It's easier said than done against Emily Robinson, but this is the time where they've got to really step up.
1-0 pitch coming, and that one missing outside. 2-0 now is the count. Temperatures still just bottoming out now, nearly approaching the 40s. It's 52 degrees. Started the day at 76.
Yeah, you throw in the sun, not a lot of wind.
The rain.
Typical May day here in Mississippi, but then you're right. All of a sudden we get all this weather and the rain, and then all of a sudden it's dropped about 25, 26 degrees.
3-0 now is the count here as Robinson struggling to find the strike zone here. Feel like the red light will be on here for Davis. 3-0 pitch coming, and that one called a strike. 3-1 now is the count here on Davis, the shortstop. Well, ICC put 2 on the board after back-to-back RBI doubles from Rutledge and Watts. So Co-Lin's going to have to try to get something going here, and that pitch called a ball.
Well, that's the start there. And if you're Emily Robinson, that's obviously the last thing you want to do is after your team goes out and gets the 2 spot on the board is come in and have some control issues and allow some free passes. The truth of the matter is that Co-Lin hasn't really hit the ball all that hard. I know they've got 4 hits on Robinson, but they've really struggled a lot throughout most of the lineup. You want to make them earn it, especially with how well she's pitched tonight.
This is going to be Jackson at the plate. That was the first walk of the game issued by Robinson. Jackson struck out swinging to start the third and looks at that pitch at a strike. So you've got Davis over at first base. Jackson at the plate right now. No outs. Bottom of the fifth inning. A slow-moving ball game here in the wee hours of the 7th of May. Swing and a miss for strike two. Throw down to first was not in time. Watts did a great job of just basically throwing her body in front of that one to block it up.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Kara Hayes that you want to make that snap throw down there. Not in this situation. You know, Davis had not wandered off the bag that far. I think you got to maybe just bluff that. Maybe keep an eye on it, put it in the back of your mind for later, but don't take a chance in this situation this late.
0-2 pitch coming. That one drifts high. 1-2 now is the count. Couldn't get her to chase one high out of the zone. We saw Emrob get a couple of those from the strikeouts earlier. Co-Lin doing a much better job of being patient and being more selective at the plate.
Well, that's the talk about second time through the order. You make those adjustments, you see what the scouting report is and how that matches with reality, and go from there.
This one lifted, and it's going to be dropped in front of the left fielder, and that's going to go for a base hit.
Boy, give credit to Bailey Jackson. She got a mistake pitch and really put a good swing on it, but I think that Katie Rutledge would tell you in left field she'd like to have that back. I don't know if she just didn't get a good read on it this late or just a little hesitation, but obviously that off the bat looked like it was going to stay up and be an out. But it hesitated, and it fell down in front, and all of a sudden Co-Lin's got the go-ahead run at the plate here in the bottom of the fifth.
We're going to have a runner coming into the contest here for the Wolves, as this is going to be number 19.
Going to be Faith Ashley, who was a pinch runner last night.
So Ashley will come in to run in this situation. Runners at first and second.
And now your Co-Lin lineup turns over. This is where you got to have Shelby Maxwell come through and do something here. Your leadoff hitter, so far she's hitless in this tournament, 0 for 5. She does have a walk, but has 3 strikeouts. She's got to be productive here. Worst case scenario, advance both runners into scoring position, but they got to have her come through.
This is Maxwell, 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out back to the pitcher.
And I think if you bunt, you just go up there and show it immediately.
Yeah.
I think you just go straight sacrifice. You don't try to drop it down late.
So Robinson getting set to deliver here to Maxwell. She does show bunt, tries to slap attempt, fouls it off for strike one.
Yeah, if you're Robinson, that's exactly what you want to do there. Come in with an elevated fastball and see if you can get that ball to be popped up. And you're right. You called it correctly. That was not a sacrifice. That was a bunt for a hit, and that's fine. I just think if you're going to try to get that bunt down, it'd be better to try the sacrifice bunt because it's going to be difficult to try to get the bunt for a hit with the infield playing in all the way around.
That pitch across for a strike. 0-2 now is the count. Great job painting that outside corner for a strike, and now that bunt situation's off here. Boy, you need to find that first out. And it'd be big if it could come in the way of a strikeout here. And if it did, it would be the 7th strikeout of the game from Robinson. So 0-2 is the count here to Maxwell. It's like a little bit of confusion now for the Indians as trying to get the pitch sent in to Robinson. 0-2 pitch, there's a hit, and it should be, nope, they're going to tag her. Good smart play there by the base runner, just not to run at her, just run and make sure her teammates were able to reach safely.
Yeah, that was a really heads-up base running move by Molly Davis because you're right, if she comes straight through, it's a chance to get a tag and then at least a flip to second base. And because, she sort of stuttered, it allowed, the runners you mentioned to get up, and Boatner was kind of, caught off guard. I think she didn't know where she wanted to really go. So a missed opportunity by Co-Lin to not advance the runners there. but at least if you're the Wolves, you get 2 on. If you're ICC, you get an out and you get the lead runner.
Fielder's choice erased Davis off the base. Now they're going to lay down the bunt. And it's going to hit the bat, and they're going to throw down to first and got her on the out. So he motioned at the bat to start with. 2-4 on the putout as the second baseman was covering that time. And that's a big out.
It is a huge out. And so Maddie Miller comes up. She has a double in tonight's game. She had a single last night. A little surprised you get the kind of true sack bunt there with your number 2 hitter in the lineup. Now, I know you got Brobham, who's a good hitter, but you're asking her to come up with a 2-out hit against one of the better pitchers that she will face all year. So I'm a little surprised the way Co-Lin has played this. They didn't really get the true sacrifice with Maxwell. They did with Miller. And so now you do have 2 in scoring position, but you got 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, it was a big out. And I said it was 2-4. It's actually 2-3 on the putout that time of Miller. And again, a big out there, Jeremy. And you're going to see Coach Kirk talking to his defense right now. This is a big moment of the ball game right now. You feel like ICC has got a little bit of momentum. Co-Lin trying to come back, still a little bit of it right here. And if you can find that third out, Co-Lin's starting to run out of outs in the contest.
Yeah, this is obviously the biggest moment in the contest here, and I think that's what Coach Kirk is talking about. Not just about when Emily Robinson's going to throw in that sequence, but obviously an ability to make sure that where they want to go with the baseball, with the softball, to make it part defensively. Right now, there's no forced play; everything has to be at first. But you try to defend the bunt, try to defend some different things Co-Lin might be able to do. But the first things first is Emily Robinson making sure she's comfortable with the pitch that's thrown and that she can throw a stride, because obviously this is the biggest at bat in the ball game.
So runners at second and third. 2 away here, and Brobham is at the plate. She singled her last time up. Looks like ICC is just going to let to do the intentional walk here.
Well, I'm so used to baseball where now it's just how you point and say, look, you're going to intentionally walk you.
And so they're going to do the intentional walk. And I'm with you. I think in any sport, if you're going to do the intentional walk, just say, put them on.
Yeah, let's move. Of course, it's easier to say that when it's after midnight and you've been doing softball all day. But yeah, look, I agree. I think it saves a little bit of time, and I think the strategy's right, though, if you're Coach Kirk. Look, first base is open. Brobham's hit the ball hard. Put her on first base. Now you've got to force out anywhere, and you only need one good pitch and one nice play defensively to get out of the inning without giving up anything.
And now this will be Wilkinson, who is 0 for 2 on the evening. She struck out in her previous at-bat, grounded out to the shortstop to end the first. 2 outs, bases full of Wolves. So right now, if you're Wilkinson, you got to kind of wear a little chip on your shoulder here, saying, okay, you're going to walk to get to me, then you're going to have to pay for it. Wilkinson stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike.
You look at Wilkinson last night. She did have a single. 0 for 2 tonight, though, as you mentioned. But you're right, tournament play, this is where you got to have some people really step up and come through offensively. Won't get a better chance to do something for your team than the bases loaded.
And this one fouled off as she was ahead of that one. 0-2 now is the count. That was a big pitch there for M-Rob to get ahead 0-2. Well, we talk about a clutch situation here. We see what Coach Kirk was talking about in that previous meeting where he basically went out there and said, hey, we're going to walk this. This is what we're going to do for the next batter. And ICC trying to execute that and get out of this jam here with bases loaded and 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, ICC clinging to a 3-1 advantage. That pitch missing outside for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. So waiting the 1-2 offering here from Robinson. Bases loaded with 2 outs here. Bottom of the 5th, ICC up 3-1. Robinson's pitch on its way. Change up, and it's a beauty. Strike 3. Just what the doctor ordered there. Change up, got Wilkinson looking in. Robinson gets her 7th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game, and Jeremy, huge pitch there.
Yeah, it was big time there. Well, it takes a lot of guts to throw that changeup right there in that spot. Everybody's looking fastball, trying to come inside maybe. Drops in the changeup. Wilkinson not expecting it. And Emily Robinson again pitches out of a jam.
Indians get out of the jam. Let's hear from Renaissance Bank. 3-1 as we head to the 6th. Back with more right after this.
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renaissance replay. Make the right call with Renaissance and get cell phone protection with Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
$5 for my own money?
That's a bad call. Let's give him a Renaissance replay. Sign up for Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking with ATM refunds today.
And welcome back now as we head to the top of the 6th inning. 3-1 is your score. ICC, Jeremy, just got out of a huge jam. You know, I know you haven't seen Emily Robinson a lot this year, but she's a kid that just doesn't seem to crack under pressure. And she's talked about her history of being in tough situations. And she's just one of those where she says it's just normal, and that's the kid you want in the circle right there if you're ICC, and she came through in the clutch.
It requires a big-time mentality, and she certainly has one. And look, the inning started with 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and so she had to get out of that. And then her coach comes through and says, look, 2nd and 3rd went out, we got first base open. I want you to intentionally walk somebody, and then we're going to go after the next hitter. And she did that beautifully and executed perfectly, and that was a really good changeup that she threw for strike 3.
So this is going to be Madison Jenkins at the plate. Jenkins, Henry, and Stevens scheduled up here. Jenkins is 0 for 2, but has hit the ball hard, and there's a hard blast. Right fielder going back to the wall, but makes the play. Again, play this one at noon, and those 2 balls, that one and the one Posey hit earlier, is out of the ballpark.
Yeah, Maddie Miller did a nice job to kind of find herself and regroup and settle down. I'm with you. I think you're looking at those 2 balls were really well hit. They probably, 4 or 5 hours earlier, those are probably gone. Ballpark playing a little bigger here late.
So fly out there again, another hard hit ball off the bat of Jenkins. Out to right field as this is now Henry at the plate. Henry 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Takes that first pitch, missing for a ball.
You can see the infield in all the way around, expecting her as the slapper to try to hit something short and run.
Thought about swinging at that one, but still called a strike. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on here for the Indians. Lucky still in the circle. Change up. Oh, just hangs up, and a good pitch there. Just couldn't quite get it to fall off the table on time. So 1 away. Henry and then Stevens due up here in the top of the 6th. This pitch fouled back out of play, and will now go to 2-2. Well, for those that are just now joining us saying, Gore, you're messing up. We're playing at ICC. You got us being the guest. That is the case. It was a coin flip. And that's how ICC, they lost the coin flip. As this one's going to be fouled right back into your living room. We'll stay at 2-2.
It's tournament action, though. It happens all the time.
It is. It was Lee Adams' quarter, for those who are wondering. I think I suggested throwing it into the woods since we lost it, and he's like, it's a quarter. No. So waiting the 2-2 pitch here from Lucky. Little slapper forward. Lucky finds it, throws it across, and it's there in time. Jeremy, we saw it earlier in the game. We saw it right there as well. Lucky's got a cannon.
She, first of all, a really good job to get off the rubber and move and be able to field her position. And then when she fielded that, she came up in a throwing motion, and you're right. She can really, really throw the softball. And it's a really nice throw over there. It's not exactly the easiest play because her momentum is carrying her to the plate. She's got to move laterally immediately, and did a nice job for a big out.
Gunnar Stevens waited for the changeup, but fouls it back and out of play for strike 1. You know, that's something that a lot of people that don't watch a lot of softball don't really think about or give a lot of credit. You look at it, 98% of her throws tonight, motion is going to be underarm. And then on those occasions you have to come throw over the top, a lot of times you don't have that release point, and you see a lot of errors in that situation. As That pitch fouled back, and 0-2 now is the count. But she's been money.
Yeah, she has. A couple times she's had to make plays. And as I said, that one I think was, to me, as impressive as the throw was, her lateral movement, her ability to get off the rubber and field her position on a ball that came right back to her immediately was really well done.
0-2 pitch, Stevens chases, and that's going to be strike 3. ICC, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, where it'll be Blanchard, Carter, and Johnson due up for Co-Lin. ICC leads it 3-1. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Hey Indian fans, I'm Ricky Murphy, real estate agent, Tommy Morgan Realtors, and I'm also a proud alumni of the All-American Marching Band. Itawamba Community College was my home for 2 years, and where you decide to make your home will be one of the most important decisions of your life. Whether you're looking to create a plan to buy your first home, or if you're ready today to make a move into your forever home, give me a call or send me a message so we can discuss your next move. And from my family, Roll Tribe!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we now head to the bottom of the 6th inning. ICC leading Co-Lin by the score of 3-1 here.
This is number 9, Sarah Blanchard.
And this is going to be Blanchard coming to the plate. She is 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a strikeout. Robinson still in the circle here for the Indians. That pitch in there for a strike. Again, we've talked about pitching in a tournament style. You do want to try to save as many arms as you can. We did see Madison Jenkins, who pitched last night. She was warming up earlier. But Coach Kirk trusting in his freshman Robinson here. 0-1 pitch coming. That one missing outside. 1-1 now is the count. He showed a lot of that faith in the previous inning where he walked the bases loaded. Said, hey, look, I got faith in you. You're going to go get this last out, and she did.
Yeah, she was really good. We talked about the beautiful changeup to Wilkinson, going to deal with 5, 6, and 7, as you mentioned. And this, obviously, too, a big inning because Lucky went out there and did a good job there to make it 3-1, kind of settle it and steady it a bit and give her team a chance with 6 outs to work. And it's a part of the lineup that has actually done a pretty decent job tonight. Blanchard's got a single. Abigail Carter, who's on deck, has an RBI single. Molly Johnson has a double. So she's going to face a part of the lineup that has actually been more successful than really any other portion tonight.
Blanchard with a 1-2 count. Robinson set to deliver. That pitch in there for strike 3. Just got her jammed up that time in that inside corner. Robinson hasn't lived there as much as Lucky has, but when she needs to go there, she's typically found her for strikes.
Yeah, she has. A really good pitch on that inside corner. I think she had Blanchard looking more middle away. Decides to come inside. Second time she's gotten Blanchard.
That's the 8th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game for Robinson. Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you. Visit RenaissanceBank.com. And right now, if you're Blanchard, you're going to be in the dugout saying, okay, why was that just called a strike and this one called a ball?
Yeah, it looked like the same pitch, but I'll play umpire tell you, hey, look, that one was a little more inside, and that's the difference.
So 1-0 now is the count here to Carter. As Jeremy mentioned, she had an RBI single in her previous at-bat. You're hearing some of the ICC faithful below us getting a little fired up. 2-0 now is the count. This one grounded. It's going to be foul, we think it is. 2-1 now is the count. Of course, we jokingly say that we think it's foul. Clearly it was foul, but the reason why we say we think it's foul is the simple fact we saw one we thought was fair, clearly fair, called a foul ball, and one that we thought was clearly foul, called a fair ball. That's what happens when you're at almost 2:30 in the morning calling softball. As this one lifted, and an easy play there at third by Posey for the second out. Line out to Posey, out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Boy, good job there by Robinson. Came on a pitch inside, got Carter just out in front with it. Soft liner over there to third base, and the goal, if you're Robinson, just don't give Co-Lin any chance at all to believe that they're going to get up off the mat. You got them down. 4 outs is all they have left. You got to be aggressive and go get them.
This is a tough one in no man's land there. Watts dives, and she's there. Impressive play by Ivy Watts.
Yeah, it was really nice there. Kind of an in-between ground ball, and I think there was a lot of confusion between Robinson and Watts as to who was supposed to go get it. And Watts did a good job to go over there and field the ground ball and made the diving play over there at first base, just secure the out, and that's a really good, clean inning there for Emily Robinson and the Indians.
Well, if you had family asleep in the living room and you were watching in the other room, I apologize for waking you up there. 3-1 is your score. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renaissance replay. Make the right call with Renaissance and get cell phone protection with Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
$5 for my own money?
That's a bad call. Let's give him a Renaissance replay. Sign up for Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking with ATM refunds today.
Natalie, when she was first driving, she literally swerved off the road a lot because she was looking at herself in the mirror.
Maybe I look at life differently.
You don't call it over space, it's outer space.
But it's underwear.
The top's right here, look.
You always say chocolate's so weird. It's like chocolate.
Wherever the conversation takes you, we're here. This is Howie Sonic.
And welcome back to action now as we head to the top of the 7th. ICC After Dark as the Indians lead it 3-1 here. As Jeremy, you and I, we go way back. You worked for me back in my days at TV7. We've called many a ball games together, but I don't know that we've ever called one that's been over the span of 2 days.
No, although there have been some late nights at American Legion.
No, we can't talk about any of those stories.
Pontotoc. So that you know, maybe.
That's going to be a slap hit, but it goes foul, and one of the fans wanted it to be a fair ball.
Everybody's unfiltered this late.
Yes, rightfully so. You get away a little bit more after hours, right?
Yes, you do.
Here we go.
Yes, you do.
Don Hammock, I know you're watching back at your hotel. To answer your question, no, unfortunately, is that answer. I'll take, you won't know the question for 200.
I was about to say, what is the question?
0-1 is the count here as that pitch goes high for a ball.
So infield in, obviously Boatner, the slapper. Now we've seen a couple times tonight, infield's been in, outfield really shallow, playing her to go the opposite field. Slappers have done a good job barreling up some balls.
That one right back in your living room. 1-2 now is the count. So it's Boatner, Patterson, and Rutledge due up here. ICC would love to see if they can find an insurance run here late in the contest in the top of the 7th inning. As she fouls this one off. 1-2 now is the count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs for Boatner here. She's had a nice game. She's 1 for 1 with a walk. She scored 2 runs, stole a base. And that's going to be slapper right to the shortstop. Throw across a little tall, but in time, 6-3 to retire Boatner for the first time this evening.
Hey, good job over there by Molly Davis, the shortstop. Fielded that one on a hop. Didn't allow it to get into her too much more. She knows she's got a speedy runner, but did a good job to make a strong throw over there. And you mentioned a nice job by Bailey Jackson to become a big target over there at first base with a bit of a high throw. And big first out for Co-Lin.
So one away now as Patterson's going to try to lay down the bunt, and it's going to be a foul ball. And the home plate umpire called it, didn't want to call it, then called it, as it did have that backup, kind of like your sand wedge the other day when we were playing golf. Just hit and backed up about 6 inches right by the hole.
You got to be good 100 yards in, or probably not going to be good at golf.
That's why I'm not good at golf. That's C.J. Adams. Blast a drive and dump my second shot 2 foot in front of me as that pitch goes high for a ball. 2-2 now, or excuse me, 1-1 now is the count. So this is Patterson at the plate. She is 0 for 2, did reach on an error. It's also walked and stole a base. Looking at that pitch, missing low. 2-1 now is the count.
So interesting defensive alignment. Another left-handed hitter who can run, but instead this time the infield much further back. Playing her more as just a typical hitter who happens to be left-handed versus being a slapper.
Swinging and a miss there for strike 2. Good fastball as just couldn't quite catch up with that one. Evens things up now at 2-2. There is one out. Nobody on here for the Indians. So waiting the 2-2 pitch here from Lucky. This one lifted. Left fielder's going to jog over and should find it for the out. She does for out number 2. Another hard hit ball just not traveling early this morning in Fulton, as now there's 2 outs.
Yeah, good job there by Bella Lucky. Also, too, she continues to pound the strike zone. And look, she's done her job, here in the latter part of the game. If she puts up another 0 here, she's giving her team a chance.
And this is Rutledge at the plate now, 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI double. She also scored a run. Time taken by the batter here. So Rutledge trying to spark a 2-out rally as that pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 now is the count here to the left fielder. Hayes is on deck if Rutledge were to reach here. That pitch right there on that corner for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Nobody on base here. Top of the 7th. ICC leading 3-1. Waits on it. It's going to be a tough play. Throw to first is not. It gets away. And so that'll be a single and advance on the error there for Rutledge.
Rutledge does such a good job to put the ball in play. The infield is back a little bit despite her ability to really run. And she just places it beautifully. And I've talked a lot about Lucky's ability to come off the rubber and fielder position. She does a good job there. Tries to go bare hand. Throw just not there. Then you got a speedy runner. I'm not sure even a good throw would have gotten her out. But instead, if you're Co-Lin, the disappointing thing is that she's able to get to second base on the error. And now, if you're lucky, you got to make 1 pitch to get out of this inning. Another run for ICC just gives them another insurance, and now you have to put 2 runners on base to bring the tying run to the plate if you're the Wolves.
That pitch outside corner for a strike. This is where I would typically tell you, you can look for Rutledge's name in the agate of the Daily Journal tomorrow in the box score area, but guess what? You can probably go look for the Daily Journal on your front porch right now because it is, it's beyond 12:30 now. Yes, it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. Our pets' heads are falling off. Things are going crazy. It's been a long day, Jeremy. And you've been here, you've called 3 of the games. I've been here all day as well. But
yeah,
this day started at 12, and guess what? Our day starts at 12 again tomorrow.
It does. But it should be today. But it should be another really good day of some softball, and we got baseball for ICC coming up tonight too.
That'll be at 6 o'clock on the Blue Channel. So Hayes looking for her first hit of the day. That's a beautiful pitch again, that inside corner. When Lucky needs a strike, that's where she goes.
Yeah, it's really good with it early to middle innings. I don't think they've gone with it enough. I think she's really been good with those right-handers going in. It's got some late movement. It's got some velocity, and right-handers just don't want any part of it.
This one fouled off. A good job there by Hayes finding a piece of that one to keep the at-bat alive here. Really the only time that ICC has squared up that inside pitch was that double by Ivy Watts, who drove in a run, and that's really and truly the only time ICC has figured out that inside fastball.
Yeah, and even then, I think you would argue, if you're lucky, that she kind of made a bit of a mistake pitch. She tried to go in for sure, left it more middle, but the low pitch, and Watts did such a great job to drop the barrel on that and just turn on it and hammer it down the left field line.
0-2 pitch lifted, and it's going to be a liner. Great job out there in center field. Thought that one for a second had a chance to get down, but instead it was reeled in by Maxwell to end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. ICC 3 outs away from calling this one a day and advancing to the winner's bracket of the tournament. Co-Lin, however, going to try to get the bats fired up here. They trail at 3-1. We'll take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Gee willikers, this Coca-Cola Zero Sugar tastes mighty delicious.
Come on, buddy. It has 0 sugar.
But it tastes great.
Let's take the breakables away. If you keep lying like this, you'll be a puppet forever.
But it's the honest truth.
You'll never be a real boy.
No, it's no lie.
You're right. It's delicious.
Told you. I never lie.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? This is what we need. We've had rain. We've had just craziness all day. You can barely see it at the top of your screen right now. We've got a little bit of fog settling in here at the ICC softball complex.
Yeah, we've had sunny weather. We've had some bright, sunshiny weather. We've had wind. We've had rain. We've had now fog.
And the bottom of the 7th.
Well, so basically, it's been a typical day in Mississippi when it comes to the weather.
As long as we don't have locusts or frogs next, we'll be safe. We'll hit knock on wood now. All right, so we're heading out to the bottom of the 7th inning. We're to be the 8-9-1 batters due up here for Co-Lin. And it's going to be Davis to start things off. Davis 0 for 1 with the walk. She does have a strikeout as well. Swing and misses at the first one there for strike 1. 0-1 now is the count.
Yeah, Davis RBI bunt single last night, but hitless today. So 1 for 5 in the tournament.
You know, we talk about this, and we do mention the fog. I mean, it is low enough that if a ball gets hit high enough into the outfield or infield, it could cause a little bit of problems.
Yeah, it's lowering a little bit. You probably can, you might be able to
see it. So you see it moving in. I won't stay with the wide camera here for a little bit, but you do see it moving into the area, and as Jeremy said, it's starting to sit down on the field here. That ball in the dirt, 2-1 now is the count.
So now if you're Robinson, the task is pretty simple. Put it in the strike zone, let your defense help you. It's the bottom of the order. But these are always the toughest 3 outs to get, the last ones to secure a victory.
That pitch just missing outside. ICC fans wanting that one called strike 2. Instead now 3-1 goes the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs, as Davis, who walked in her previous at-bat, trying to do that again here. Instead takes that for a strike. 3-2 now is the count.
Well, a big pitch here, certainly. It talks about with Co-Lin, Lucky did her job. A couple of zeros she put up in the 6th and the 7th, allowed Co-Lin to just now need 1 base runner to bring the tying run to the plate.
3-2 pitch on its way. Grounder, and it's foul. So we'll redo it again here at 3-2. And that's one thing Co-Lin's done a great job of tonight. When they get in those full count situations, they don't swing and miss often, even though they have struck out 8 times tonight. But they make you earn it every time you come to the plate.
Yeah, you're not going to have a lot of these easy, quick outs. It's going to be 5, 6, sometimes 7 pitch at bats. They really grind them out. They do such a good job, of just, especially with their 2-strike approach.
So Robinson getting set to deliver the 3-2 pitch here. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Big time Renaissance Bank strikeout there to start the inning.
Yeah, that's the 3-2 pitch coming inside, and Davis trying to slap it the other way and just completely missed it. And a big-time strikeout. That's what you do right there if you're Emily Robinson. You get into a little bit of a bind, go with that fastball. It's worked for you all night long. And a big strikeout to start the inning.
So now with one away, this is going to be Jackson at the plate. She's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. This is going to be a blooper up the middle, and it's going to go for a base hit. Just put them where they ain't that time as Jackson gets her second hit of the game, and now we go to the top of the lineup. And this is where Co-Lin wants to get. They want to get to this part of the lineup and see if they can get those heavy bats put on the ball here and rally late.
Yeah, Jackson with her second hit, going to get a pinch runner.
It's probably going to be 19. No, this is going to be 7 coming in to run again.
Mallory Cade.
So Cade will come in to run.
So now Shelby Maxwell and Malia Howard kind of having a little more extra conversation with her. I think they realize she has really struggled in this tournament. She walked in a great at-bat last night at the bottom of the first inning, but since then she is 0 for 5, and I think they just know that she's got to be the one to get on base and be the table setter if they're going to be able to not only come back and win this one, but stay around longer in this tournament and eventually punch their ticket to the region tournament next week.
So I'm waiting for her to get in the box here. As the umpire kind of taking his time getting set as they're making sure everyone has all the correct people in the game. That pitch goes high for a ball as Maxwell at the plate. Jeremy mentioned it. She reached on a fielder's choice last time, but she is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. She's also grounded out to the pitcher. ICC would love to see that here. Maybe see if they can get a Little Caesars double play to steal a couple of outs.
And I'll say this, she hit the ball really hard last time to play. Hammered it right to Boatner at short.
That pitch comes right back into the strike zone. 1-1 now is the count. Yeah, there's been a lot of hard hit balls by both teams in this game that have either went directly to defensive players or just found its way to someone's glove instead. So, yeah, there's been plenty of hard hit balls throughout this contest that has resulted in outs. 1-1 pitch. This one fouled back. 1-2 is the count. Saw the home plate umpire reach his hand out trying to catch that one. It's cold, fella. That's going to hurt.
I saw that earlier today. Mr. Lunsford did a great job early in one of the games. The ball came right back to him. He just absolutely grabbed it, threw it back in one motion. Even got a little rise out of the crowd.
Nice. 1-2 now is the count. That pitch outside, set up outside the whole way that time. Couldn't hear the chase. Count evens up now at 2-2 here on the center fielder, Maxwell. There's one out in the inning. There is a runner at first base. Tying run at the plate right now in Maxwell. This one popped up. Left fielder's going to jog over a couple of steps and make the out for out number 2. Good pitch there to get the easy routine flying ball out to left field.
Yeah, big out right there if you're Emily Robinson because, again, you're already going to bring the tying run to the plate anyway. You certainly don't want to bring the go-ahead run to the plate, winning run to the plate in this case. And so now you're going to get Maddie Miller. She's got a double on the night. One of the better hitters for Co-Lin. Came in hitting .372. Trying to get a big hit to get her team in position to tie or win the game.
That pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 now is the count. As this is Miller. She does have a double on the afternoon. She's 1 of 3. This is a grounder. Second baseman, awkward hop. Throw over. Is it in time? Yes, it is. And the Indians pick up the 3-1 win to advance in the winner's bracket here in a bizarre day of softball as this finally capped off at 12:45 on May 7th. Jeremy, your thoughts on the day?
A really good day, really fun day. We got the two games we wanted. We thought we were going to get a couple of really nice games in the winner's bracket. We got them. Jones and ICC advance. I think those, once again, would be chalk. But the big, obviously, upset, Hines knocking off Pearl River to eliminate the Wildcats. Northwest winning to stick around. So good day of softball. I expect another really good day tomorrow.
We're going to come back, do the Renaissance Bank postgame report, talk about our Sonic Star of the game and more right after this here on the ICC Sports Network.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Welcome back one final time, or not one final time today, because we'll be back in less than 12 hours here on the ICC Sports Network. But we're putting a bow on it here. ICC wins it by the final score of 3-1 here over Co-Lin. They'll advance to take on Jones. That's going to be a fun one tomorrow. Jeremy, we take a look at it. ICC, 2 top performers tonight in this contest. Let's go ahead and talk about our Sonic Stars of the game.
Yeah, obviously Emily Robinson was terrific inside the circle, striking out 9 on the night, getting that strikeout to walk ratio up around 9-1. And then obviously we mentioned Ivy Watts and her great at bat, that double down the left field line to give the Indians a little breathing room to make it 3-1. I thought 2 really good teams, 2 teams that got good pitching performances. Unfortunately for Co-Lin, Robinson was just a little bit better. I thought Lucky was good in the circle, as she typically is. Co-Lin's a good ball club. I think the mindset changes for them now. They obviously, their season could be on the line. They've got to win later today in order to have a chance to get to the region tournament. The Indians now playing, I think, strictly for pride and a chance at winning a state championship.
Co-Lin, they're going to face Northwest tomorrow at 2 o'clock. 2:30, excuse me. ICC will advance to play Jones at 5. Our first game of the day is going to be Gulf Coast and Hines at noon. And then where's the other one at? It'll be the winners between the losers bracket. Will be that one there as well. You're taking a look at those Little Caesars highlights, as that's going to wrap up the Renaissance Bank postgame report. Visit RenaissanceBank.com to learn more about their rewards extra checking account. Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you, and they understand we are tired, and we're going to wrap things up. We'll see you in less than 12 hours back here on the Red Channel. For Jeremy Kennedy, Raphael Henry, Lee Adams, Kevin Maloney, Will Simmons, and Z Taylor, good night from Fulton, and as always, Roll Tribe.
If this just cost a little bit less.
Let's take a look at that with the Renaissance replay. Make the right call with over 400,000 shopping discounts right from the Renaissance Rewards Extra checking app.
Might be a little while before I get to the bank.
That's an incomplete pass. Let's give it a Renaissance replay. Renaissance Mobile Check Deposit. Make the right call and open an account with Renaissance today.